Today we're in Austin, Nevada, a Civil War-era boomtown that sprang up after a Pony Express mule kicked over a rock and exposed rich silver beneath. At its peak, between 8,000 and 10,000 people lived here, before the boom went bust. These days, fewer than 200 people call Austin home, earning it the title of a living ghost town. But this place has a rich history and a few surprises, so let's dig a little deeper and learn more about Austin, Nevada. Well, if you're headed eastbound coming into town, the first thing you pass is that gas station. The next thing you come up to is this right here, this gift shop. Let's go inside and have a look. The first thing that caught my eye when I walked in was the taxidermy. There's elk, deer, bighorn sheep, and they have a lot of stuff you might expect to see in a place like this. Things like rocks, crystals, turquoise, and various knickknacks. But they also have a few things from Africa and the Amazon. Wow, is this a real snakeskin anaconda? Wow, 20 feet long, that's crazy. I'm gonna go back to that motel and then walk down Main Street and see the town. Then we'll get into the stories that make this town unique. I guess if you're traveling down the loneliest road in America and you need a place to stay, there are a couple of places here in Austin. There's the Pony Canyon Motel and the Cozy Mountain Motel. This one up ahead, the Lincoln Motel, looks to be closed though. So you can see this one's boarded up. There's also an RV park, so if you're traveling in an RV, you can stop there for the night, or a couple nights if you want to. Across the street from the motels and right next to the gift shop is the oldest building in Austin, the International. More on this building a little later. I'm not sure if this place is still open or not. They don't have any hours posted. And peeking in the window, it looks like it's nice and clean and everything, but there's also some boxes and even some taxidermy on the table, so not sure if they're open or not. I mean, they're not open right now, but I'm not sure if they will be at some point. We'll take a peek in here too. Hey, you can see there's no roof, there's no floor, there's no wall over on that side. So let's go around and get a better view. This looks like a little public seating area. I guess you could have picnics or something here, but they've got some plaques with history of the area and a monument honoring the veterans. There's a little information about Reuel Colt Gridley. I want to tell you a little more about Reuel Colt Gridley because I think his story is an interesting one. I may have to make some edits because there are a lot of cars driving by on Highway 50 making noise, but I will try to get this out without too many edits. He had a pretty interesting life. He served in the Mexican-American War. He worked as a steamboat captain on the Mississippi River, and he even tried his hand at mining and banking in California before he ended up coming here to Austin. He came here in 1863 and ran the Gridley Store and General Mercantile, which is now a historic site. But the thing he's most famous for is the flower auction. I'm going to look at my notes while I tell you this part of the story because I don't want to miss anything. So, in April of 1864, there was a local election for mayor, and Gridley was a Democrat, and a friend of his was a Republican, and he made a bet. The loser would carry a 50-pound sack of flour from Austin's upper town to lower town, which is about a mile. In addition to carrying the sack of flour through town, they would be accompanied by a brass band for maximum humiliation. Well, Gridley ended up losing the bet, and he carried the sack of flour. The band played, and at the end, he auctioned off the flour to raise money for wounded Civil War veterans. And the person who won the auction didn't actually keep the flour. So he auctioned the flour off to the highest bidder and then suggested that they donate the money to the charity for wounded Civil War veterans. And then he just would go and auction it off somewhere else. He went on a tour auctioning off the flour. And here in Austin, he raised $4,350, which is roughly $80,000 in today's money. But he went on tour, and in the fundraising tour, he raised $7,000 in Virginia City. He raised money in San Francisco, St. Louis, New York, and various military camps. And in total, he raised about $275,000, which in today's money is $5 or $6 million. Unfortunately, he died about 6 years after completing his tour and raising money, but that's what he's most famous for. So he had an interesting life, but he ended up raising a lot of money for wounded Civil War veterans, and the town here remembers him, and his, like I said earlier, his store is a historic site now. There's still some more buildings I want to look at right up ahead, of course, and then there's a church over there. There's another church down that way. That sign says get in here, but I'm not sure if they're even open. And it looks like they're not open. So this is a cafe, and I thought there was a chance I might be able to get something to eat here, but at least they have hours posted. They're not currently open, but they will be at 5 o'clock. Unfortunately, I will be long gone by 5 o'clock. So this place says it's a gallery and an inn with vacancy. It also says they'll return at 11:05, but it's about 12:07 right now, and it still looks like they're closed.
How you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
All right.
I was just having a look around the town. I haven't been out here before.
You haven't?
No.
Wow. That's something to say. Do you know the history of the town?
A little bit. I'm making a video. Right now you're not on camera, just me, unless you don't mind being on camera.
Doesn't matter to me. You want to see my building?
Sure.
I'll take you there.
Oh, all right. Getting a little tour of the Magnolia Gallery and Inn.
Yep. This here is our lobby. And these are our two main suites. This building was built in 1864, right at the time of the statehood. This was built as a 2-room building, 9-room brothel upstairs. This is our main suite.
Okay.
And the couch hooks out to a full queen. Bedrooms in here. 1932 dresser. 1968 painting.
This is a big room. Would this be like a super luxury place back in the day?
This was the size of the brothel room. I never changed it, so when you take a picture of the bathroom...
Okay, so this was the brothel room, not
yes,
like a
original,
hotel suite.
Yeah, for 9 rooms like that.
Okay.
Found the door casings behind the wall when I cut the shower in.
Oh, cool.
And we have one more suite left, which is what we call Court Street, because at the courthouse used to be up on Court Street, not on Main Street. So when the gentlemen would leave, they had to go out through this back door. So imagine 9 rooms. Back door, dark, candles, oil lamp. You know, you had a piss bucket for a pot. This is a queen bed, shower bathroom, foyer, and then we come into the parlor room, which is a term that most people don't use anymore, a suite. But it is a parlor room for the year.
And so these are available to rent?
Oh, yes.
And how much does it cost to stay here for a night?
For this room right here, we do give a special for $125 a night for a single. And we do a $135 for the front for a single.
Okay.
But for 2 people in this room, it's $140, and it goes up to the bigger room. And then we can have 4 people in here, and it's adjusted to the person at $25 a person more.
Okay. These are large rooms for that price. So
Well, that's what the town needed.
yeah.
It didn't have any rooms that were big. So we went ahead and did 2 big rooms instead of 4 little rooms.
So if you want to stay in something a little nicer than those motels down the street, then you come here.
Oh, yeah, I would say we're the newest, the nicest, and the best. And the oldest. How about that?
And if my video gets any views, maybe you'll get a little free advertising.
Hey, free advertising is always good. So it took me 4 years to complete the remodel on this. So the studio was opened as a photo studio, which we sold to the Chamber of Commerce last year. Which is a kind of, you know, oh well, we're getting old anyhow, so. We've been here now for almost, going on our 10th year, so.
That's great. Well, thanks for the little tour showing me around.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The International, go down there, I'm sure they're open. They have
Okay.
a wooden sign out there that says open,
Okay.
okay? That is older than this building. That is the oldest building in town.
Okay.
And it's only because it was hauled here from Virginia City.
Cool.
Yes, and the guy that took it apart.
That's a long trip today. A longer trip when you're using horses and wagons.
Yeah, that's the bottom of the 40-mile desert. So they had to cross that. Anyhow, the guy died on the way. So the building got here, it was a 9-story building. Make the story short, it's 3 stories today. So a different person put it together. But it is the oldest building in town.
That's awesome. I'm
Yes.
definitely going to have a look at that.
Yeah, that is. And here, Craig's garage here, his grandpa lived there. They had 2 diesel generators running there for electricity in the town in the early 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Up until 1970, they did away with them. But before that...
Is that when the actual like wires and stuff were
actually put in. See that little red
So the
box?
town was off grid until the 1970s?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So the courthouse, in 1873, there was a guy that killed 2 brothers. And they put him up there, and they hung him off that balcony right there in front of the courthouse with militias standing around. It took them 3 times to kill him.
3 times?
3 times.
All right. Well, thanks for showing me around.
Yeah.
What was your name?
Ken.
My name's Adam. Nice to meet you, Ken.
Okay.
Thank
Go
you.
back sometime when you want to stay.
Well, that was nice. They saw me just standing around looking in the window and looking at the signs and stuff, and got a little tour. Oh, there's another church. There was one that we passed down there a little while ago. There's one right up there, and there's one over that way. There aren't a whole lot of people in this town, but plenty of churches.
If you continue walking further down, you'll see the firehouse, the courthouse, and a few other businesses that look like they're not open any longer.
Oh, right up ahead there's another cafe. It says they serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but I'll bet you anything they're closed. This one looks like it closed because of COVID and never came back. That's sad, but unfortunately that's a pretty common story. A lot of businesses closed for COVID and never reopened. We're getting close to the other end of town here because you can see there's a welcome sign on this side. I came in from the other side. So we're just about at the other end of town. There's a little bit more down there. Another church. This one's not as grand, but there's another church over there. So there is a museum in this town. Pretty sure they're closed. I'm here on a Wednesday afternoon, so there's not a lot of other people. There's just cars driving by, but not a lot of people stopping. Museum is closed for the season. There's a phone number here, but apparently the season is going to start up again soon. The gentleman I spoke with a little while ago said that the last snow had just melted off last week, so I guess the season, when people are here and businesses might be open, is just starting up. So maybe if I come back in a week or two, this place might be open. Not sure what this is yet, but I want to find out. The barn at Leland House.
Well, I still don't know what that structure is, but there's just one more thing to see in town, and that's the Gridley Store.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent, thank you.
This is one of the few places that's open today. So
I know. We're not extremely populated at the moment.
yeah, I was talking to one of the other business owners, and he said that he moved here 10 years ago, and about 3 years after that, the population went down quite a bit.
Yeah.
So-
A lot of the elders are leaving us.
So is this a library?
Yes, so this is one of our wonderful historic buildings, and about a little less than a year ago, they decided to make it into a library.
Okay, because it said store on the outside, and I thought it was like a gift
Right.
shop or something.
It is the old.
Do you mind if I record video? Because I'm making a video I want to put on YouTube and just
Oh,
about the
that's-
town. So,
No, that's fine.
so
Yeah.
if you can share any history, that'd be awesome.
Well, it's a historic store, the Gridley Store, and if you read the plaque on your way out, it's very interesting.
I read it on the way in, but I also, that's one of the reasons, one of the things I wanted to talk about in my video that I'm making was that story.
Yes, the flour sack and
Right.
raising all the money for the Civil War soldiers. Yeah, I mean, it's just a beautiful story. The amount of money, you just read it, is it like 230?
It said on the sign out there 275,000, but that's equivalent to like 5 or 6 million today or something like
A
that.
lot of money that they raised.
This is Civil War era $275,000.
The 1860s. Right, amazing. And so this building, the family who owned it, I don't know whether they had inherited it or what from the original Gridley, but for some reason a local family owned it, and going back many years they donated it to the county. But they, their wish was that it would be used, for not for profit.
Right.
And I only know this because after we reopened in June, fixed it all up and everything and reopened it, one of the...
So this has been reopened less than a year?
Yeah, in
Wow.
June. hmm So one of the grandchildren came, now herself, probably my age, which is golden years, right? And she was so pleased to come in and see it because it had sat just unused. Now it has a new roof and it has a whole new life as a library, and
That's great.
yeah, the family was really pleased, and the whole town I think is pretty proud of it, everyone who's been in. We want to make a little outdoor space for the community for the summer, so they've just kind of started working on that. You can see the little old door.
Yeah, for short people. I'm 5'11". I'm not super tall, but this is
Yeah.
easily 3 inches shorter than I am.
Yeah, it's a little door. It doesn't have the low doorknobs like some of the
Oh, right.
towns still have. But so they just dug this out and put in, the block, and then they're going to make a little fire pit
Okay.
and a little seating area so that the community can come and have picnics and that sort of thing.
That's great.
And read outside and have book club and stuff like that. So that's the plan. And they haven't decided how they're going to deal with all this. And of course, that we don't own that property, so. But anyway, that's the outdoors. Oh, I just love it. I walk in every morning, say, not every morning because we're only open 3 days a week. Good morning, library. Never answers me back.
That's probably a good thing. I mean,
Yeah,
people say pretty much every building in the state of Nevada is supposedly haunted, so
bit
it's
haunted.
good it doesn't
Yeah, I
answer
know.
you back. No news is good news.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
I'm
the little
glad you
tour and the
stopped by.
info.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your visit.
I will.
That's about the last thing there is to see on Main Street before leaving town, so now we can head back and take a look at some of the side streets while I tell you about how this town was born. Then there's one last secret to share before I head home. So the story goes that in May 1862, a Pony Express mule kicked over a rock in Pony Canyon, exposing a streak of silver. The rider had the rock assayed, and word spread fast. Within just a few months, miners flooded in, tents sprang up, and by late 1863, the boom was in full swing. Clay and wooden shacks quickly gave way to permanent stores, mills, and even newspapers. But the boom didn't last. Within about a decade, the richest ore was played out. Miners moved on to try their luck elsewhere. Businesses closed, buildings emptied, and Austin began to fade. Today, with fewer than 200 residents, it's one of Nevada's last true living ghost towns. Now there's just one last thing to see: Stokes Castle. Yes, there is a castle in the Nevada desert. Well, sort of. Just outside of town sits one of Austin's strangest landmarks, Stokes Castle. Built in 1897 by Anson Phelps Stokes, a wealthy mine developer and railroad magnate, the 3-story stone tower was inspired by a castle he'd seen in Italy. It was meant to be a summer retreat for his family, complete with a kitchen, living space, and a rooftop terrace to take in the desert views. But the Stokes family only used it for a few months, before leaving Austin for good. For more than a century, the castle has stood empty, its arched windows and weathered stone a curious reminder of a short-lived dream in the Nevada desert. And that's going to do it for our visit to Austin, Nevada, one of Nevada's last true living ghost towns. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.